This experience is to hopefully help you all better understand what really matters to us human beings on a day to day basis. Everything from our struggles, our achievements, and our desires. We're hoping to give you a glimpse of what it was like to live in the 21st century. My name is Wendy. Let me be your guide. Let me be your guide. My today people, what's up? Everybody out there, how you feeling? You know, GDP slowly creeping up. Uh, my people that are into finance and trying to grow a small fortune. I know you guys are seeing that. Uh, it's moving slow, but it's moving in the right direction. Not sure where the economy. This isn't an economics podcast, but not sure where the economy will be in a year or 2 years time. But I'm hoping, I'm hoping we don't see any kind of catastrophic moves and stuff like that. So, here's fingers crossed, guys. But I appreciate you guys for tuning back in. For those who are just tuning in, please just go check the first episode out. Um, this is Dear Future Robots. And again, my name is Wendy. As I said on the get go, I will be your guide through this it's audio adventure. No, but just strap in. You know, tune in, take part, because this is our thing, right? Uh, like I said before, we all not only can imagine, but some of us may even look forward to the future and what's going to be going on as far as technology, artificial intelligence, uh, decades from now. What kind of just world we're going to live in is something that I'm for sure excited about. I mean, shoot, with all the things going on right now, I hate to be morbid, but these ongoing wars and just the military and industrial complex. Hopefully, we're all still here. All right. I got kids, so obviously I lean towards peace nowadays in my life. But today, now that we got all that out of the way, today's episode or entry, I like to call them, is about something that I think most people will find deeply philosophical and even personal, right? And this may be something that there is never going to be a single answer to, but I'm going to give you my perspective, right? So the purpose of life, right? The purpose of life. I mean, obviously different people are going to have different beliefs, values, I guess life experiences that shape their understanding of, I guess, the purpose of life. But with that being said, many people find meaning and purpose in pursuing happiness, fulfillment, whether that's work or whatever, and personal growth. You know, like working out and stuff like that. Maybe some people find their happiness in that. That's definitely uh, a small percentage of what makes me happy for sure. Uh, some people can even find it through their relationships, loved ones. Uh, you know, like I said, careers. I think that kind of falls into personal growth, right? And passions and stuff like that. Those are a few different things that people say. Oh, can't forget religious beliefs, or even some people feel good contributing to society, like donating or helping at soup kitchens, or whatever the case is. For me, what I've come to believe, um, and I don't necessarily think it's apathetic, and I guess you guys be the judge of that, but I think the pure, just unadulterated uh, purpose behind life and our existence is creating more life and existence. For me, uh, I think everything else that we talk about, like some of the things that I mentioned prior, uh, personal growth and quote unquote happiness and fulfillment and all that kind of stuff, those are those are feelings, endorphins and all. Those are literally just feelings. Like the only bit of that's really that really will, in most cases, outlive you, be here till you're gone, not exchange hands for real. Because even if you amass a fortune, that's on lease because somebody else is gonna spend all that money. That's not yours. All right. But passing your genes on, your genetics, right? That's forever, right? Like 23 of them, like that goes on forever. And that's not a feeling. So that's something I think that should be taken more serious than a lot of the previous or aforementioned things, right? Your kid, your offspring, your child, and how you're uh, bringing them up, how you're raising them, how you're rearing them, what you're showing them, what you're teaching them should be the number one business of your life, right? That should be the purpose of your life. Because if you're doing that right, then you almost ensure, if we're all doing that, quote unquote, right. I mean, that's saying a lot, right? Right. But if we're doing that as a species, right, human beings, Homo sapiens sapien, we're almost ensuring that the next generation is better than ours, the previous. But most don't do that. We're in a society where these aren't necessarily the things that are showcased as linchpins to happiness and all these quote unquote feelings that matter. Uh, it seems that our society pushes just personal feelings over things that truly should matter. And I think that's an interesting space to be in. I mean, like I got a friend of mine. I got a friend of mine. He's been going through it for the past few months. He's going through a divorce right now. And and I remember telling him this. I'm like, man, I know your wife. I know your ex, and she's gonna try to make this as difficult as possible. I wouldn't say he wasn't taking my or heeding my warning, because I've got those that know me. I've been through it before. So I just think he was uh, trying to move on so fast that that wasn't something that was on the forefront of his mind. He just thought he's a very confident dude, so he just thought it would be. He just thought I would handle it. I'm good. I'll face it. And, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Lo and behold, just like I said, my man's been struggling, and I feel bad for him. I've been trying to give him as much advice as I can, as far as my from my experience, right? But just seeing the potential as far as what he may have to put up with in our court system, and we're in Florida, by the way, where the court system, shoot, almost anywhere you are, no matter what state, the court system is typically going to favor the woman. I mean, she would have to be a grade A POS, she would have to almost be a meth head to lose custody, you know. Uh, but I'm hoping co-parenting works. But when I talk about the purpose of life and me believing that it's kids and what they're being exposed to, and how I believe society would, we get closer to that utopia if we took our children as seriously as we took all these other things that don't matter. They have, and again, these are people I care about, but they have kids together, which makes it more difficult, right? I purposely, like, for me, if my wife and I, if we went through something like that, and it was bad enough, we were that far gone, I think I would just stay and try to hide it from the kids as best as possible. And just when they're a bit older and I feel like they can take it, maybe uh, my my ex and I, or my wife and I, sit down with them and really discuss the brass taxes. And for me, that's just to kind of save them from the hurt, I guess. Preserve the innocence as long as you can, because you never know how that child is going to take it. You got some kids that I'm sure will understand and be fine with the two-parent household or whatever the case is, but you also have that kid that on the other end of the spectrum might see it as their fault. What do you do then? Now you got somebody that's scarred. And let it not be a contentious situation, because imagine if it is a contentious situation between you and your girl, you and your wife, or you and your husband, and y'all are fighting all the time. And these kids, what I already stated, should be the main focus and purpose of your life. you know. And don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not a monk. I don't live on a mountain or in the woods somewhere. I'm as consumerist as the next man. I was raised in the early '90s, born in the late '80s, and I like Nike like the next man. I like, yeah, I'm as American as they get, I guess you could say. But with all that said, I still move within my family dynamic a certain way nowadays, just because I understand a bit. Uh, and for me, what I say around my kids matter. I don't curse around my kids. And that's not to say people who do are bad people, but you're setting a certain expectation for your kid, right? Um, I think, for me at least, once they're older, I introduce them to certain things that I think they can handle. But for me, I don't want my 4-year old, I don't want my 2-year old walking around cursing or even being used to that kind of language or behavior. I mean, that's just me personally, because I know there's people out there that are going to say, so what? And that's cool. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. This just happens to be mine, right? Um, Life is a complex confluence of events. Like we can't get away from that. It is extremely complex, right? That's why I always say, where our universe is crashing, do your best to leave a mark. Uh, because we all have our universes and we're all the stars of our particular universes, right? We're the sun in the middle of that universe. We affect so much. If this is a movie plot, I mean, we're the star of the show. Everybody else is, you know extras, or whatever the case is, co-stars, not even. So we got to do the best, or do our best, to make sure these interactions that we're having on a daily basis. And again, it's a lot easier said than done. Emotion is a mug, but the purpose of life, man. We got to start doing a bit better with these kids, man. We do, because we're only setting ourselves up for more pain, more hurt, more torment, more regret. Like, we're not where we need to be as a society, a community. And I don't know, maybe I know some will blame the quote unquote the powers that be for what they're showing on TV or radio, or like kid shows nowadays, it's almost like they want to expedite our, the growth of our children. Um, and I'm not gonna front. I can't fully argue against that, but I'm also not completely on board. I get it. There's just not enough evidence for me to say, yeah, these freaks are out here. Pedophile island's still open. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, most likely, I guess, but I just don't know enough to point fingers. But wouldn't be surprised. I remember being a kid, and I remember the first time that, and this is maybe 6 years old, 5 years old. No, probably like 6 or 7. Yeah, closer to 7 or 8, actually. But I remember the first time they were announcing on the local news at night that they were going to start allowing for radio programs and TV programs to start using the B word. My kids aren't listening, so bitch, for those who for some reason don't know what the B word is. I remember that as a kid, and I remember how it made me feel. I was pretty much confused. I thought to myself, but that's why are they doing this? It wasn't until I became an adult that you sit back and you analyze it and you're like, oh, okay, take away a bit of innocence under the guise of creative integrity or creative freedom or freedom of expression. I don't know. I mean, will we focus a bit more on our most important feature of humanity, the kids? Will we in the future pay more attention to their feelings, their wants, uh, their lives, raising them up, not allowing them to fall victim to what we like to call family curses, right? Those of you who can relate to me as far as having an interesting family dynamic, as far as relatives, stuff like that, siblings, whatever the case is, aunts, uncles, you know, we can have a few shots and share some stories, because we might be up there. But for instance, if you want to talk about family, just to give a brief little tidbit, I got relatives that I don't give my home address to. Yeah, I got family members that are scammers. I got family members that are extremely jealous, thieves. Uh, like if for those who know me, uh, you've probably already heard me say this, but don't look at me and try to anticipate what my family is like, because you'll be wrong. This is a product of a lot of self reflection, growth, staring in the mirror, uh, building, reading, exposing myself to different things. And no matter for me how much I tried to push, uh, it just it didn't land. A lot of the trappings from the environment that we used to be in, that I was in, a lot of those trappings were a lot stronger. I mean, money is a crazy motivator. You know, street fame is a crazy motivator. Having anything you want, fast money is a crazy motivator. I didn't go that route. Had opportunities, of course, but I personally wanted to make other aspects of my family proud. Like for those who know, again, and for those who don't, I lost my mother when I was 18. Went through about a depression. It was very very tough, very tough. Um, it was for sure the thought that I had of, like, for me at least, making her life mean something. Like I didn't want for her legacy to be to have raised criminals and you know people who don't really who fall on the opposite side of the law and stuff like that. I didn't want that to necessarily be her legacy because she worked hard. So and obviously I didn't want to go to prison because imagine that I already have family in prison and stuff like that. So I used that as kind of motivation. That was somewhat motivation for me to uh, move a different way. You know, start trying to expand my mind, expand my brain, and all that. Expand my experiences, meet new people, sign up for college. you know, and I mean, it helped me. I'm very content. I'm very happy with where my life is now. I'm still building. I got things to do, for sure, for sure. I'm not where I want to be. At the same time, I'm content. I got plans though. But again, man, what are we pouring into these kids, man? This is the purpose of life. It has to be. Like we all start off as kids and become adults, even though some of us are still kids. What they call it, arrested development. But I think I think we're misguiding a lot of these young folk out here, man. The purpose of life, man. That is a complicated question with even a more complicated answer. And this conversation can go on really for hours, right? Touch one uh, one possible answer, and then hit another whole hour on another possible answer. I don't know. I don't know what your answer is, but at this point in my life, children, we gotta take care of them. Gotta raise them. I guess in what we deem to be the right way. Is that a focus in the future? All right, and this is obviously assuming no major bombs were dropped and humanity is still here at scale, right? Billions of people, maybe trillions of people by that time if we're interplanetary species, but future robots. Are we doing a better job with our kids? Are you guys raising our kids for us? Huh. I just had a thought like it'd be funny if you know divorce and splitting the kids were a thing still in the future and the in the courtroom there was a robot judge and all you do is input facts, evidence, and the decision is made off of logic, complete fairness. No judging you by your face or your gender or perceived whatever. Like you're the husband and wife can't just walk in there and start crying and get that kind of sympathy play from the judge. It's all facts, man. We got a lot to look forward to in the future. I just really hope our future includes doing a better job with our jewels and our gems, our children. I really do. Maybe I'll do another episode in the future, expound on this bit a bit or see what you guys got to say about it. I'm sure somebody else is going to feel like, hey, you know, it's my life. They have their own lives, for me, it's career, or it's for me, love, finding love, and all this kind of stuff. It sounds good, but life isn't a fairy tale. It just isn't. Sounds good. Sounds good. All of that is a feeling. We gotta do a better job with our kids, y'all. We just do. Maybe that'll take a lot of societal changes, uh, social media, just a lot of these accoutrements that we add on to our everyday. Some of us can be addicted to these things. Uh, I'm not gonna front. I'm addicted to playing chess, and I'm on YouTube a little bit. That's still secondary for me. When my kid calls, or you know how kids can ask a million different questions. I love all of that. I put everything down for that. I love it. But hey, perfection is an illusion. We just got to keep working. We just got to keep working. But hey, that's really all I got, man. That's really all I got. Let's do a better job, guys. Let's work. Let's work. Let's work. But hey, grow with me. It's another one. Dear future robots, I'm out. Peace. Hey, hey, hold on. I'm not done yet. Dear future robots and my today people, if you guys want to reach out, email me. That's Wendy at dearfuturerobots.com. Again, that's Wendy at dearfuturerobots.com. And all my social media handles pretty much are at Dear Future Robots. And I think it's maybe Twitter or Instagram, but that one's going to be at Dear Future Robot. But either way, you'll be able to find me, guys. Take care. And please give a like, review, subscribe, leave your questions down below, send them to the email, follow the social media platforms, guys. Just grow with me. I'm going to do my best to keep up with this as much as possible. All right. Appreciate you all. Let's grow together. Nothing but love. Peace. Dear future robots. And we really are just universes crashing, every single one of them. So just do your best to leave a mark, all right? This is Wendy, Dear Future Robots, signing out again. Peace.